So I'm starting on the title screen this time to show something off. So with this game, I decided to do a thing that I actually do with a lot of games, especially RPGs. Any type of game really where you can screw up on your progression or otherwise miss something. Wherein, when I get a few hours in and I actually understand the systems at least to a certain extent, I'll oftentimes scrap my first playthrough and start over so that way I can avoid missing those things and do a little bit better. I realize I don't need to do this by any means, but it's just something I like to do. I did that with my very first playthrough of Dark Souls, as well as a whole bunch of other games. And that's what I ended up doing here. I started a new save file and I got up to the point where I was last time. This time, however, I acquired the first V2 boss weapon from the packs, as well as a full Gorgon set from the security guards. And as you'll notice, it took way less time to get up to this point than it did previously, although that's just kind of a thing with Souls games. I'm not sure if I've ever commented on this before, but the load times in this game are amazing. Look at this. Load in on the game, bleh. Mixing words together. And it takes like, what, 20 seconds to get in? Now, granted, that's because this game has its stages separated, with loading screens in between them, rather than doing the Dark Souls thing of having everything be available except for like 1 or 2 areas. But still, that's pretty impressive considering like Dark Souls has like a 30-second plus load-in time. Okay, so yeah, as I mentioned, I have a full set of Gorgon armor. The only reason I'm actually able to equip it is because I have 2 ancillary cores, the implants that just give you more core power to work with. As it turns out, those tripod drones, not the heavily armored ones that I've been fighting, just the ones that destroyed me early on when I first started exploring this level, if you remember them. They were in that upper area sealed off that you had to take an extra lift to get to. Turns out if you cut off their rear tail, you get one of these every time, and since that enemy type respawns, you can actually kind of farm these up. And just from going through killing them normally, I got 5 of them because there were 5 of the things there. I guess they feel fine freely giving you these since you do end up being limited by your implant slots, and if you use these, you can equip other useful implants. It's basically a choice to use better armor than you currently would be able to. And the Gorgon stuff is quite good. Medium armor, some pretty good bonuses on the individual pieces. The only real negative is a slight increase in stamina consumption, as you can see there. Actually, wait, no, that's a reduction in stamina consumption, so that's purely good, yeah. Really good medium armor set, and then its full set bonus is a major boost to stamina regeneration, which you can see right here if I do a bunch of attacks. Look at how quickly that comes back. Let's actually take off a piece and compare it. Can I actually just remove a piece? There we go. Doesn't do the Souls thing of letting you do that from the previous menu. You have to go in and then unselect it. Anyway. So I would say that's probably like a 50% boost. Maybe a bit less, maybe a bit more. Either way, definitely significant. Although the fact that I have to use 2 ancillary cores to actually use this stuff at the moment is a little bit debilitating. If it wasn't for the good bonuses on the pieces, I'd probably go for full scarab set, or at least a patchwork set of, say, maybe some scarab and some MG Gorgon. Really the best bonus is in the helmet piece, which makes it so that your drones consume 50% less energy, so you can use them earlier and much more often, which is nice. So yeah, basically that's just what I wanted to explain, so I'm in the boss room and ready to continue exploring this place. Oh right, so do you remember that asshole acid area in the first level that I died trying to get through? Yeah, it's a very small area. I nearly got to this item actually, and it's worth picking up. It is a single-rigged weapon, the Volatile Spectre, companion to the Spectre Bite. The main difference is in the damage that it does. Most of its damage is in elemental. And elemental damage is super effective against machine enemies. You can really see that against those tripod dudes. If I return to the start of the level, I might actually show that off. But yeah, like, it takes very few hits to kill them with that compared to pretty much any other weapon I had. I really think it's the only reason I was able to actually make it through them this time, rather than just suicide running past them for the item that they got. So yeah, let's continue exploring then. That's everything I wanted to say out of the way, I think. Alright, this looks like it leads to one of those support areas. I'm guessing this is going to be a shortcut of some sort.
We finally found our little thief. It's probably the same culprit who's been hitting the lab storerooms. She ended up dropping a purloined biomaster in a hurry to get away. Looks like she was heading towards the old abandoned labs. I'll file a full report when I get back. Security can handle this one from here on out.
So that's interesting. I just picked up another staff-type weapon. Let's actually have a look at that. How does that compare to the previous one I've been using? On this character, I decided I felt like using the pre-order staff that they give you, which is kind of insanely good. Like, okay, staffs in general are really good, as I found, and as I'll probably show off. And this one, just stat-wise, is way better than any others. Even the one that you can acquire from the security guards is worse, because this has medium in all three things, whereas that has medium attack speed, medium proficiency scaling, and low impact. So this is just straight up better. I think this might have slightly lower energy gain, but that's really not a huge deal if you're using, what is it, the voltaic dynamo implant. So let's see how this staff compares. So I guess they put this here if you're not good enough to take on the security guards and steal one of their arms. You have this to give to Irina. So yeah, it seems like it's purely worse. I'm pretty sure the primary stats don't actually go up when you upgrade it, just the damage amount. So it'll never have better than medium impact, medium attack speed, and low proficiency scaling. That said, it looks even better than I thought. Just from the icon, I was like, that looks cool. Might this have some special moves, like the firebug that I'm using? Oh, it looks fancy. Even if it ends up being a bit worse statistically, thanks to that lower proficiency scaling, I think I might use this over the combat control rod just because of how it looks. I'll have to get it to Mark 2 first, of course. Alright, well, I'll unfavorite it for now. I'll consider that. Let's see, where is this taking me? Ah!
I'm sorry, but I just can't wait any longer. I hope you're okay, that you're still out there. That you found a safe place. I'm going to take the maglev to the old biolabs now. Try to get there if you can. I'll be waiting. My thoughts and prayers are with you.
Okay, that guy's been talking to me a few times by now. Or, you know, just talking to someone. Probably not me specifically, probably some of his staff. Maybe Irina? Hopefully, she managed to make it through. I'm assuming the security staff is a good enough weapon for her to survive. So I'm heading this way because the sign said that Ops was this way, which is what the bonfire checkpoint rooms are called. Oh! Hey, it's a shortcut leading back to this whole hub. That's right down there is the boss room. Not a super useful shortcut, but at least I know where this door goes now. Okay. And given how these signs look and what he just said, I'm assuming the maglev is this way. That looks kind of like a train, that top symbol. So I'm gonna head back and check out the other paths that were in the boss room. Hopefully I can actually encounter some enemies so I can show you how ridiculously good the staff is. Seriously, this combat control rod was pretty much the only reason I was able to take on the security staff. And even then I had to take quite a few attempts. Like, those guys, I know they're supposed to be Black Knight equivalents, but they're a little bit too tough. Mainly because not only do they have damage on this side, but their moves aren't always especially obvious. Like, sometimes they end up twirling around the staff all fancily and it's just, you know, part of the animation. It doesn't actually do anything to you. Other times, that fancy twirling is actually an attack that does, like, 50% of your HP, and it's really hard to tell what's what. That's a bit of an issue I think the enemies have in general. The tells aren't nearly as well done as the tells the enemies in Dark Souls have. Not always. Oop. Well, as for enemies, have I been here before? I don't recognize it. Anyway, yeah, this is why staffs are so good. They're quick, they're multi-hitting, they're very good at stunning enemies. Not these guys so much. These guys in the Liquidator armor are actually some of the more dangerous enemies I've found. I think part of it is the fact that they're so easy to stun that I end up stunning them early on, and then further hits end up breaking them out of this stun. As I think I mentioned before, that's a pretty dumb mechanic this game has. If you've stunned an enemy but then you continue to attack them, you'll break them free of this stun, and then they'll be free to attack you. So going full offense is actually pretty bad, as it'll just give the enemy more chance to attack you. So since I impacted that dude, I'm better off actually backing off, and then starting my attack string again, and then impacting them a second time. That's what that attack does, as I found out when I fought them. I'm not sure if I've shown that off on camera, so ooh, forgot about that stab, and I have no healing. You know what? Just gonna back off for a second here. This is worrisome. Okay, so have I been in that room before? Going to... Oh, I forgot that it actually tells you what these signs say if you look at them. Going to Material Depot. I'm pretty sure I've been over here before. Yeah, Toxic Waste Maintenance. I'm not entirely sure exactly where it is, but I have been there. I'm just gonna head back this way for progress, hopefully. Maybe, take a shortcut back so I can stock up on medicine and whatnot. Let's see, I interrupted myself a few times. What was I discussing? I was talking about the staff. Ooh, don't want to fall. That would kill me at this point. I was talking about the staff weapons, wasn't I? They're really good. Yeah, very quick attack speed, multiple hits, so they're very good at staggering enemies. They're great for handling crowds. I guess that's why the security guards use them. They seem like the best weapon type, and I'm kind of angry at myself for ignoring them entirely. I was trying to focus purely on, like, slower weapons, but I realize now that that's kind of a mistake. At least for my first playthrough. That was, like, an unnecessary challenge that I was applying to myself for no real reason.
Let's be honest. Over the last couple of decades, things haven't been too great. We know. We've seen the figures, and that's why we created Project Resolve. But with an ailing population, developmental problems, disability rising at an alarming rate in children, some would have you believe it's too late. At least that's what elements in the media would have you believe. But Creo has you covered. From family daycare centers to full medical coverage.
I'm not sure if I've seen this advertisement before. I don't really care either way. It's not like it's going to impart any useful information at this point. Okay, so here's the maglev. Nothing guarding it, thankfully. I'm assuming there'll be a medbay at the start of the area, much like there was here. Although it'll be interesting to see if there isn't and I end up dying to an enemy, what exactly occurs. Will it just have me respawn at the start of the area, or will it have me respawn at the medbay back in the second area? Hopefully not that, because that would take a while to get back, just because of the loading screens as quick as they are. Speaking of being quick, wow. It's already almost over. Yeah, look at that. No time at all to load in the next area. And this is on console, let me remind you, in case you were thinking maybe it was on PC. No, if it was on PC, if I had the ability to run it smoothly, I'd be doing these at 60 FPS. As it is, I have to suffer poor peasant 30 FPS. It's actually not that big of a deal. This is the kind of game that, in my opinion, doesn't really benefit from 60 FPS all that much. It helps, it certainly does help. But it's like, as long as I have a smooth 30, that's perfectly a-okay. You know, speaking of games with 60 FPS on console, something I just found out about is that apparently the Dragon's Dogma re-release that was done on PC earlier this year. Wait, was it earlier this year? No, it was actually, early 2016, wasn't it? Wow, that was a while ago. But yeah, it's actually coming to consoles later sometime this year. Japan, late fall, and in the West, sometime after that. They haven't said exactly when. Ah, perfect. Medbay.
Warning, this is a quarantine zone. Please remain in operations until all potential sources of danger have been eliminated.
And I am super looking forward to that because while I certainly enjoyed the PC remaster, I couldn't enjoy it to its fullest extent because my system isn't exactly the best, as I've said many a time. I could get 1080, mostly 60, or if I turn down all the settings, which of course makes the game look less good, although even that was still leagues above the initial console releases. If you haven't played the PS3 and 360 versions of Dragon's Dogma, don't ever do that. Like, even if you have a crappy laptop, like not even a gaming laptop, you can probably run it better on that. Like, the console releases were dire. Just mid-20s FPS at best, oftentimes low 20s, the most muddy textures, vertical tearing on PS3. Actually no, vertical tearing on 360. PS3 had a better frame rate in exchange for VSync. Just, some of the worst performance I've seen in that generation of, like, an actual good game, not, like, shovelware garbage. Anyway, yeah, that's coming sometimes this year, and if you haven't played Dragon's Dogma and you have a PS4 or Xbone, fire on you for that one, I highly suggest picking it up. It's a very, very good action RPG. Anyway, anything I want to do here? Not really. Not interested in increasing my core power at the moment, although what I should do is I should try upgrading that, I think it was called the Biomaster? Where are you, my friend? Yeah. Seru HSS Biomaster. Wait. What? Do I not have any Mach 2 materials? I must not, because it's skipping over that step entirely. Huh. So my understanding is that level of materials is segregated by the level you're in. I don't know if that means I'm immediately going to be getting Mach 3 stuff here, or if I'll still be getting Mach 2 stuff early on. I hope I do, because otherwise I'm going to have to return to the previous area to farm some up, unless... Is it possible to scrap anything I currently have, any of my current items? Because I'd be fine with getting rid of some of my weapons if I could get materials for that. No, that's not really an option that they have. Okay, well, I'll have to put off using the Biomaster for now then. That's unfortunate. If it's not Mach 2, it's definitely not going to be worth using in this area. Actually, while I'm thinking about it, let me just check one thing if I can look at it detailedly. I have to go into this menu to do that though. I just want to see what its damage types are. Yeah, as I assumed from its flashy appearance, it too is an elemental damage-dealing weapon. Which means, it might actually be, even if it ends up having similar stats at Mach 2, it might be very less good. I couldn't have chosen a more awkward way to say that. Yeah, it might be like way, wow, a lot worse than the combat control rod because against human enemies you want the physical damage types, crushing, slashing, thrusting. Elemental doesn't do much to them. It does a lot to robots. That's kind of the trade-off that's going on. I suppose it depends on the type of enemies I end up coming across. Let's see. Can I talk to... what's her name? Sally, I think it was?
This communication device is locked down.
Alright, gonna have to reactivate that, I guess. Oh yeah, I like this little detail here. Someone was holed up here for quite a while, eating all this junk.
I'm freaking out here, Doc. Security is everywhere, but
For
there's
your
no
own
change in the
safety,
workers. It's
please
still
stay
chaos.
within operations.
If anything, it's getting worse. I'm gonna try and make a break for one of the loading bays. Hopefully I can get out. Best of luck, Doc.
Alright, well I'm guessing that... that's an interesting little bit of graffiti. She is the cure. But yeah, I'm guessing the dude who left that was the dude who was holed up there who probably tried to venture out and then got summarily murdered by all the cyborg zombies. Not everyone can be as badass as Warren. Are we actually ever going to learn anything about his backstory? Like, because he's pretty much a blank slate, that sort of, you know, not really silent protagonist, but still silent protagonist in everything but the fact that they're voiced and that they're just a blank slate for the player to try and slot themselves into. And so they don't end up having much in the way of backstory. I really would like to learn why this guy is so efficient at combat and murdering and everything like that. Or if it's just gonna be like hand-waved as, you know, that typical video game-ism. The Nathan Drake-ism, I like to call it. Alright, so first two enemies I come across are robots. I wonder if that's all that I'm going to be encountering in this area. Previously it was mostly humans with a mix of robots, mix of drones. But this place might have just robots as its gimmick. I wonder if I can whack off its... wow, I couldn't have chosen a more awkward way to say that. Its sensor arm and actually acquire an item much like the ancillary core with those tripods. Might as well try that out. Okay, you get a charge, that's not so bad. Ooh, perfect, I can. Although, as far as I can tell, it doesn't actually give me an item, it just removes some of their ability to attack. Not their ability to charge, though, which seems to be the dangerous thing. And they can still cause what seems to be an AoE cloud, so it might not be worth going for that. Alright, since I'm fighting robots, it's gonna be good to use the Volatile Spectre. Watch how the damage compares. I'll be striking the sensor arm to make sure I'm doing the same tier of damage. Yellow damage. Look at that damage difference. Look at how much I'm doing. It's a slower weapon, yes, but honestly, typically the damage of the staffs is better than that of a single-rigged weapon like this. This is just the power of elemental damage type versus robots. Should probably keep my lights on. Wishing, as I was before, that they illuminated more. This actually might be... these might actually have better lights than the Lynx or the Vinyl that I was using, but not much better. Alright, two different ways I can go. I see a red power line. That means there might be something I can overcharge over there. That's the tell for... oh, well, speak of the devil. Alright, well, let's do that. And then I guess I'll follow the line to see where it goes. Oh, maybe that actually restores power in the op center. That might be the case. Actually, it looks like it's leading over this way. Let's follow the Red Pipe Road. I'm off to see the Tech Wizard? The Tech Wizard of Oz? No, that doesn't work. Never mind. Okay, so if I were to just stroll bravely forward, I would fall. That's probably not going to kill me. That's probably safe, but I want to see what's on the other side. Ooh, implant. If it's hidden here in a room by its lonesome, it's probably gonna be good. What is that? Auto aid. Plasma generator. That's not what I'm interested in. There it is. While near death, regenerate health. Ooh, how close to death? And does the regeneration turn off after you get out of that critical health state, or does it continue until you're topped off? It only takes 2 core power, so if I can get a little bit of that and another implant slot, I might try that out. That might help me with long journeys. Okay, well, I was gonna drop down there anyway, so it doesn't matter that I fall, but why does that kill you? What? I thought From Software had a bad issue with a love of kill boxes, where dropping in the wrong space in the environment, a space that often is not really distinguished as something that would kill you, just ends up instantly killing you because they placed a kill box there. But this game just takes it to a whole nother level. Like, that is not good design, guys. Like, at least put, I don't know, spikes down there, or just make it an infinite pit. Like, that doesn't make sense in a factory, but just something to tell the player for sure that it's going to kill you if you drop down. Oy vey.
Restriction for this sector remains
Oh, I think I actually do more damage when I strike that arm. I'm not sure.
Have been requested.
Gonna try and bait off the attacks. Yeah, I think it might be worth busting their arms. Those melee attacks are somewhat nasty.
Being resolved.
Did I kill it? Oh, nope, it's running away. Nope, come back here, you jerk.
Please report
You're not getting help from your friends.
briefing.
Yeah, I think I unequipped my, health gain on execution implant that I... Whoa! Okay, well, there goes that 4K tech scrap. Easy come, easy go. At this point, that's really not a huge amount. It's not that big of a deal. That was a crazy-ass laser. I think it might have hit me twice there, because I think I survived the first hit with a pixel of health, and then got damaged by it continuing to hurt me. Or maybe it released that cloud AoE that does like 1 damage a second. That's why they have that attack, to screw you over. Prevent you from escaping and healing. Alright, so these guys are actually somewhat dangerous. Maybe I seem to do better with the combat control VOD. Maybe I should stick to that, even if it doesn't do elemental damage. Oh dear. Yeah, I'm super scared of that laser now.
Have been requested. Please remain in operations
Oh.
while the situation.
Hey, the pits in the environment actually coming in useful for once.
Designated hazard response squads, please report to Incident Commander for mission briefing.
Nope, didn't quite do the running approach. There we go. Another nice thing about the staff weapon type is that not only can you do a lot of damage by just continually doing attacks, especially if you make use of the timed button presses to consume less stamina, but unlike other quick weapons like the claws, which I probably should try and use more since I just picked them up. I don't even have them favorited. Yeah, the firebug. Could also do to increase my twin rig proficiency. It's the lowest aside from one-handed. I should probably stick with those. I have plenty of staff proficiency. But yeah, unlike these weapons, its first hits actually do plenty good damage on their own. So you can just do 1 hit, back off, 1 hit, back off, repeatedly if you want to be safe. Takes longer to take down the enemy than doing a long combo, but it's a lot safer. And it's actually viable, unlike with this weapon where you kind of need to build up combos to really get a good amount of damage off. At least that's what I've found so far. Nope. Of course they would explode. Why else would they put boxes there? I've just realized these special attacks probably do a lot of elemental damage as well, so they're probably good for dealing with these dudes. I really hate that mist. It does damage, stamina drain, and it slows you. That is incredibly annoying. Like, that's not even fun to deal with from a gameplay standpoint, it's just aggravating. And probably lethal if these guys end up working with tougher, more dangerous enemies. How did I do that, like, special attack? Was it vertical, vertical, horizontal? Yeah, look at that. That's probably useful since it does damage and gets me out of dodge. Way more useful than the Yosuke butterfly, which you can't actually hurt them with that leap away unless you're really close, just due to how the animation looks, but because this has the fire, it actually does damage as well. Oh boy, we got the return of asshole drones. And I saw what looked to be a humanoid opponent. I'm just gonna see if I can drag this dude over. At the very least do a little bit of damage with my drones, good. I might be making more use of my drone, especially since, you know, it doesn't consume much energy. Oh yeah, that's a lot of damage, nice. Just store that charge up. Oh, I could have stored up the impact one too if I was quicker. Okay, no, it's not a worker, it's just more robots. I do have to be careful about using this leap back attack because there's so many pits in the environment that if I use that in the wrong space, I'm probably going to end up hopping into a pit. That happened a few times when I tried out the Yosuke butterfly in the second stage on my off-camera run-through on this character. Yeah, I gotta say, I'm not a fan of their design decision to use pits to punish the player. Like, you can use them to your advantage, yes, but just the way they're worked into the environment, you're more likely to die to them than use them to kill enemies. At least in my experience. Oh, there are some workers. That in fact is a scarab. I'm gonna switch to another weapon. I found that if I try to block their charge with the fist weapons, it actually, my character's stance is low enough that I can't actually block that attack. I just end up ducking it, which prevents me from doing the special counterattack, which is the whole reason to block in the first place. Oh right, I haven't been going for executions, mostly because I haven't come across any human enemies aside from that dude. I should probably be doing that here. I do want to try and upgrade that Biomaster, so let's aim for the right arm. That'll tell me if I can get Mark II materials. Hello? I can one-shot them, I can get the arm and weapon automatically, but I doubt I have the stats to do that, and I probably wouldn't gain energy quickly enough. If I did that, I'd kill them, so just go for the regular attack. Yeah, they would have died way too quickly. Alright, let's see, what level of materials do I get? Okay, good, I get Tungsten Alloy Mark II. I should only need a few more pieces of that if I want to use the Biomaster. Let's see, elevator, oh it doesn't work. I have to restore the power, presumably that's over here somewhere. Bingo. Oh, hi! I was like, this seems the perfect spot to be ambushed by an enemy, and what do you know? I'm starting to learn what the level designers like to do. That's a skill I honed in Dark Souls, but it doesn't translate one-to-one to another development team. For a new beginning. I like that the graffiti is actually varied and says new things. They don't just use the same JPEG over and over like other games. Dishonored. Alright, so this reactivates the elevator, and it's probably somewhere I need to go since it only requires 10 core power, which you have to actually proceed with the game. That's what you have when you first pick up your power core. Anything beyond that is probably optional, since, to my understanding, you can actually beat this game without leveling up. Much like Dark Souls. Might do that at some point after the fact, after beating the game once. That could be a fun challenge run. Alright, so I'm gonna need security clearance or some sort of higher clearance. I've come across a ton of doors like that, so I guess at some point I'll have to do a whole bunch of backtracking. I wonder if they'll do the thing that Lords of the Fallen did, where when you backtrack through previous areas, you end up, they end up repopulated with new enemies, so it actually ends up being somewhat fun to do them again. That'd be nice. Okay, we get another asshole drone. Just, I kinda wasted my drone fire, but that's fine. I'm attacking incredibly hesitantly here. I really don't want to end up swinging myself off. I should probably rely on vertical attacks. They carry me forward a bit less than the horizontal ones. Yeah, I'll take that elevator later. I'm curious where this leads, alright? Door can't be opened right now. I guess I gotta restore power here. Either that or it'll be a shortcut. Not a terribly useful shortcut I can imagine, given there are several asshole drones you have to deal with, but hey. Alright, time to take the elevator. Oh yeah, I finally figured out how elevators in this work. To actually go up them, you need to enter, go to the back, and stay still for several seconds. If you don't do this exactly, the elevator doors won't close. I guess that's to prevent them from acting glitchy in any way, but to me it's just kind of annoying.